Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, folks, playoff pressure for 2025, and who had better make it? Yeah, the pressure's on for a bunch of coaches, and there's an article out there. It talks about the SEC coaches. We're going to discuss that some, but also I've got to discuss Big Ten, ACC, even a little bit in the Big 12. And, of course, Notre Dame, who won't join a conference because they're too good.
Well, Lottie frickin' da!
Yeah, I'm not going to leave them out either. But let's get into this. Now, before I get into the SEC, I do want to talk about the three big dogs in the Big Ten. And let's start out with James Franklin. I think, look, he's a guy that used to be under a ton of pressure to get in the playoff back when it was 4 teams. But now that it's 12 teams, he's made it. They've done a lot better. I think the pressure's kind of eased on him a little bit. He still needs to make the playoff, but I don't think they're over there beating the drums against him. Now, Dan Lanning, here's another guy who has kind of unlimited NIL money there, and that's played a big role in Oregon. Of course, Oregon's been good for a long time. He's under some pressure to make the playoff, obviously, but nothing's going to happen to him. I think they're very happy with him. And then we got to talk about Ryan Day. Now, you'd think, God, just won a natty. How could they be under any pressure at all? Folks, it's Ohio State. They don't care. They were ready to fire Ryan Day. He was winning 89% of his games, and they'd had no trouble with the NCAA, and they were ready to get rid of him.
Fire Ryan Day.
We got to fire Ryan Day.
Fire Ryan Day yesterday.
So, yeah, he's coming off a natty. Ask Urban Meyer if winning a natty protects you up in Ohio State. Ask Jim Tressel if winning a lot of games protects you. They don't care up there. I'm telling you, they don't. They will let you go if you don't get it done, period. And getting it done means a lot. It means winning either a national title or beating Michigan. Oh, geez. If you don't beat Michigan, that's the worst thing you can do.
No, and I don't care.
I'm going to tell you
So he's always going to be under pressure there. He just is. All right, now speaking of Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman, I think he's not under any pressure at all right now. He had a great year last year, darn near won the whole thing, got to the championship game. They'll expect him to make the playoff, but given the fact he's playing an ACC schedule, I think he'll be fine. All he's got to do is finish, top 12, and they'll automatically put him in. And he doesn't have to play a conference championship game either, which is a nice little special gift.
I'm so popular. Everybody loves me so much.
So I think those guys are all pretty much okay, but at Ohio State, you're never okay. And let's mention a couple ACC guys. Dabo Swinney, he needs to make the playoff, and he needs to legitimately make it, not back in the way he did last year. Boy, those South Carolina Gamecocks didn't appreciate that at all.
I'll turn this damn bus around. That'll end your precious little field trip pretty damn quick, huh?
Yeah, they beat them at Clemson and had the same record and didn't get in because they won the ACC championship game because the ACC is easier than the SEC. And South Carolina has noticed that a few times. But he needs to make the playoff at least. They're not going to let him go either way, though. And we do need to talk about Mario Cristobal. He needs to make the playoff. They had it made, and they lost that last game. And they've got a lot of NIL money. So, yeah, he's got some pressure. And then as far as the Big 12 is concerned, Arizona State, I don't know how much pressure they're really under. Iowa State, BYU, Coach Prime. Coach Prime's going to be fine. I pretty much figured out that guy's going to do well there in the Big 12. He brings in the big-time recruits. He's going to be fine. He'd better be, because I tell you, if he starts losing, the media is going to crush him because he has pissed off several reporters. And when Coach Prime and a reporter meet and they don't get along, it's bad. I'm telling you.
Tim McCarver confronted Sanders.
Tom is right here. Right now, here you go. I got a real man. You know that? Yes. You are a real man, Dion. I'll say that.
And then lastly, Mike Gundy needs to win a game. That's what he needs. He went 0-9 in the Big 12 last year. Mike Gundy.
Come after me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Yeah, I'm coming at you. I don't care if you're 40 or not. You better start winning, buddy. 0-9? You're lucky they owe you some money. All right, now we're going to get into the SEC and talk about those coaches. And this was an article that came out on Saturday Down South by Adam Spencer. This is a fun article. I'm only going to just kind of glance over each of the parts, but read this, ranking every SEC team by how much pressure it faces to make the playoff. And he goes into categories, no pressure whatsoever. He starts out with Mississippi State. Yeah, zero pressure to make the playoff. They just want to win some games. They won 2 games last year. It's just Mississippi State's struggling something awful. Jeff Levy's a good coach, but there's just not much in the cupboard, and they don't have a lot of NIL money. So no pressure there. Old Vanderbilt, yeah, there's no pressure to make the playoff there. They're so happy in Vanderbilt land. They got to go to a bowl game, won the game. They beat Auburn and Alabama. Are you kidding me? They're the Alabama state champs. Diego Pavia. I'm telling you, Vanderbilt people are tickled to death. So no pressure there at all. They're happy. All right. Old Kentucky. They're under no pressure to make the playoff. He needs to win 6 ball games. All right. He's brought in quarterback, the Zach Calzada dude.
Who?
Which, from Incarnate Word, he just needs a winning record. If he makes a bowl game, they'll be fine. They owe him $30 million after this year. They're not going to let him go, but he's not under any pressure to make the playoff. All right, Arkansas and Sam Pittman. He just needs 6 wins. He gets 6 wins, he's fine. Tennessee Vols saved his butt last year. That win really helped him. But if he doesn't, their offensive coordinator sitting back there ready to go. Bobby Petrino, who I call the head coach in waiting. And, of course, he coached at Arkansas during their heyday. So they're ready to just do the old switcheroo. No problem. But 6 wins and he's fine. All right, now he calls this minimal pressure. Mizzou's, Eli Drinkwitz is fine. They've been winning a ton of ball games, 9 and 10 wins a year. He's done a great job. They're going to miss Brady Cook something awful. I don't think people understood how good that guy was. The second they put that Drew Pine guy in there, it was a totally different team. I know they've got Bo Pribula, or Pribula. I don't know how to pronounce that last name. But anyway, that's who they're bringing in. I believe he was at Penn State. Anyway, he's not under a ton of they're happy up there. Honestly, he's done a great job. That's the way it is.
We stand on business, John.
Auburn Tigers and Hugh Freeze. Buddy, you better have a winning year this year. You'll only be owed in the single digits of the millions, which is not a lot of money in 2025 football. And it makes no sense. They got tons of talent there. He's just had bad quarterback play. And by the way, he could have had Diego Pavia. Nice decision, Hugh. Should have got that guy. But he's a good coach. He is a good coach. I'm just waiting for him to turn around. I do like that Deuce Knight dude. He's only a true freshman, though. Of course, they brought in the kid from Oklahoma, the 5-star, who got benched. So, I don't know. I think as long as he wins 7 games, they'll be okay. If he wins 6 games, he's gone. Now, this is an interesting one. Tennessee, had Nico stayed, I would say there'd be a lot more pressure to make the playoff. And we don't have a terrible schedule. We do have to go to Florida and Alabama. That's tough. And we got Georgia at home. But that's, those are 3 tough ones right there. The rest of the schedule is kind of manageable. But we got tossed in the creek by Nico and wound up having to go get Joey Aguilar, who came from Appalachian State via UCLA, all in a couple of months. There's a lot of big questions out there on Tennessee. And if you don't have good quarterback play, it's going to be difficult. So he gets a bit of a pass possibly this year, which really stinks because Tennessee was set up to look good this year. This should have been Nico's year. He pulls the bonehead move of the year. God, what a dumb mistake. What a dumb mistake.
You're a big dummy there. I'm not kidding you. You're a big dummy.
All right, folks, number 9, Oklahoma, Brent Venables. Now, he's really on the hot seat there. Oklahoma's used to winning. They don't understand what's been happening to them. Winning 5, 6, 7 games is not going to work for Brent Venables. He'd be owed quite a bit of money, but I tell you this much, their first phone call if they fire him is going to be Josh Heupel. You can count on that. And we've already made it clear he will not get further west than Farragut. We'll just put a blockade up and stop it. But Brent Venables had better win some ball games or he's going to be looking at the unemployment line. He'll probably walk away with, $20 million. It'll be a hard life for him. Oh, boy, Shane Beamer, old sign stealer guy.
Allegedly.
I tell you, I like this Lenore Sellers. Dark horse to win the Heisman. He is a terrific athlete. Good guy, too. 4.0 student. Don't forget that. What did he do with his money? Gave it back to his high school. Played for nothing as a redshirt freshman, then finally got his payday and gave some money back to his high school. That's how you do it, Nico. Anyway, I like South Carolina this year. They look pretty good. I could see them winning 8-9 ball games. I don't know if they'll make the playoff, but they certainly could. And given the way things have gone for their basketball and baseball program, they could use some good news.
It's kind of the story of the night. Clock was wrong the whole game. We're trying to kick an onside kick to start the second half, and we got to wait on the chain crew because they're eating a hot dog. That's the only disappointing thing about tonight. So,
Texas A&M and Mike Elko. This is a team that paid Jimbo Fisher $76 million not to coach. Think they got some unlimited oil money? Elko had it going pretty good, but it's been a long time since A&M's won, 9-10 ball games. They're loaded with talent. Texas A&M has a ton of talent. I don't know how much pressure he's under, but look, if you're Texas A&M, you're under pressure. That's just the way it is. And especially if Texas has a good season, then you're really under pressure. That's as bad as the Ohio State-Michigan thing. When Michigan has a good year, Ohio State goes crazy and vice versa. Texas A&M, same way. Now he's got the category of high pressure. Florida is first on that list. Billy Napier has been fired so many times down there, it's not even funny. They had the Mayflower truck out in front of his house. They did everything but run him out of town. And then all of a sudden, DJ Lagway took over with basically a bum leg and got him to 8 wins with one of the toughest schedules I have ever seen in my life. Their schedule last year was a nightmare. It doesn't get any better this year. It's tough as can be. They got they got tons of talent. They're always in the top 10 in recruiting. And their fan base, look, that swamp's hard to win. It's hard to win down there. If DJ Lagway can stay healthy, I think they're going to be really good. If he doesn't, it's going to be a struggle. And he is very injury prone. So anyway, that's a guy that could win the Heisman. I really like that guy's play. It's excellent. And Billy's had it rough down there, but we'll see if DJ can pull him out of the mix.
It ain't got no gas in it.
You see there, Scooter? Thinks of the simplest things first.
Ole Miss, old Lane Kiffin, just barely missed the playoff last year. I really thought they were going to make it, but they had to win at the Swamp. Jackson Dart is gone. They got Austin Simmons in there, the lefty. He's probably really good. Honestly, I can tell you Lane wouldn't have him if he wasn't. Lane is a bit of a QB whisperer. He's not under a ton of pressure. They're so happy to be winning 9 games down there, it's not even funny. I don't think he's under that much pressure. I really don't. I would not have put him under high pressure. You got to remember where he's coaching. They only got like 50,000 seats in their stadium. Really? All right, now this is the absolute must make the playoff. Got Alabama first. This is an Ohio State situation. This is a guy that was born on third base, Kalen DeBoer. You take over Alabama, you must make a 12-team playoff, period, especially the second year. He brought in Ryan Grubb, his right-hand man. I call him Shake and Bake. That concerns me. As a Tennessee fan, that was not a move that I enjoyed. I don't like those two guys back together again.
What? Did we just become best friends?
Yup.
Do you want to go do karate in the garage?
Yup.
Plenty of quarterbacks to choose from down there. They'll probably go with that Ty Simpson dude to begin with. They're loaded with talent. Their recruiting's off the charts. But he better make the playoff, or it's going to get rough down there. Now they would owe him a fortune. Okay, so before you think, oh well, they'll just let him go, they would owe him a ton. It'd be Jimbo Fisher money. So pressure is a different. It's not that he's going to get fired. It's just Alabama fans would be on him like a duck on a June bug. That is pressure. Georgia. Kirby Smart is under no pressure. Yes, he should make the playoff. They've got crazy talent down there. He's a terrific coach. They need to do something about the racing and speeding and crap they do down there all the time. That's their biggest problem, is off the field stuff. On the field, they're terrific. I like this Gunnar Stockton. Everybody's questioning him. I think he's going to be good. You don't have to be great at Georgia. At quarterback, you just need to be good. The biggest loss they had, by far, was Todd Monken. That offensive coordinator, jeez, is he great. They were a nightmare with him. That was their biggest loss. Mike Bobo's okay, but he's no Todd Monken. So pressure, yeah, they need to make the playoff or Georgia wouldn't really know how to handle it. But as far as, Kirby being in trouble, he's not even close. Here's an interesting one, Texas. Yeah, they're under pressure because they're spending like $40 million this year. And oh yeah, somebody's going to come in the comment section. Steve Sarkisian said it wasn't $40 million. What was it, 39? How much was it? They have unlimited money. I have no idea where they get it from. They've got Arch Manning, the $6 million man, who they're paying the guy $6 million, but they're not spending 40 on their football. Ha!
I fart in your general direction.
This team has more talent they know what to do with. They are a Georgia with an Arch Manning. Steve Sarkisian is an excellent offensive coordinator. There's no excuses whatsoever for them not to make the playoff, and I expect them to do so. Now, he puts as the number one team under pressure is LSU. I 1,000% agree with this. Brian Kelly is being paid a small fortune to coach this team. He's got the best recruiting area just about in the country other than maybe Georgia. Tons of talent. They went nuts in the transfer portal because he knows the pressure's on him. Garrett Nussmeier is an excellent quarterback. He has one shortcoming. He is not a dual threat, but his arm is crazy good. Brian Kelly needs to make the playoff, and the number one thing he's got to do, win your first ball game. They've lost their first ball game the last 3 years in a row. Brian Kelly's lost his mind over it.
And we're sitting here again. Talking about the same things.
And I believe they're playing Clemson. Yeah, August 30th, Clemson at 7:30. That's a tough test right there for both teams. If they lose that game, it's going to make it much tougher because now they've got to go through the SEC gauntlet. They got to win that ball. That right there is the key game of the year for them as far as playoff is concerned. I agree with that. Number one, Brian Kelly, but boy, he'd be owed a lot of money. But the pressure that he'd be under if he doesn't make the playoff this year is going to be crazy. Anyway, I wanted to cover this. These are the teams and the coaches that are under pressure to make the playoff. Some because, look, their fan base is crazy and they expect perfection all the time. Some because they've been paid a ton of money. And some because they've failed with plenty of talent. But fan bases, they don't care. They just want you to succeed or else.
Back off me, man. Back off.
So anyway, if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Let's continue to cover all of these big college sports stories. If you've not subscribed, boom, boom, boom. Hit that button right there. Will not cost you a dime. Help you get my videos. And right over here is the most recent video that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy. We'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay. Being a coach ain't easy.
And you have to not lose the game before you can ever win the game.